hooks. Shoot your arrows. Cooper Kupp plucks it out of the air and gives the Rams the lead. Robert Woods, touchdown. LA! Dog goes crashing into the end zone. Aaron Donald almost beat the football there. Corey Littleton, have yourself a day. Picked off. Marcus Peters coming off the edge. And Ryan will be wrapped up by Clay Matthews. Everett in stride. Wow!
Franklin Myers gets his hand down there.
Leto got a hand on it. Did he pick it? He did!
Racing down the sideline is Akeem Talib. Gurley for MVP! Touchdown LA!
Picked off by John Johnson.
Well, Dante Fowler, who is able to get to Breeze. Greg Zuerlein sends the Rams to the Super Bowl! LA will play for the Lombardi!
Welcome back, guys, to another Downtown Rams podcast. It's episode 189. I'm your host, Jake Ellenbogen. Joining me is Alexis Kraft. We're here with another Draft Season podcast episode. We have two stud prospects coming on, as always. We have UNC wide receiver Anthony Ratliff-Williams and Houston linebacker Emeke Egbule. Hope you guys enjoy. If you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe and review on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts, all over. Be sure to let us know what you think about the show and enjoy the show. All right, guys, joining the Downtown Rams podcast, we have a special guest from North Carolina, wide receiver Anthony Ratliff-Williams. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
Well, no problem, man. I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're doing great. We're so excited to talk to you. And as Jake said, thank you so much for coming on. And just to start it off, we kind of want to get to know a little bit about how you got into the game of football, how old you were when you started playing, and how you got into the sport.
Well, when I was about 5 years old, I used to go to my cousin's practices when they played for this little league team around the area, and I had asthma at the time, so my mom didn't want me to play. But me being who I am, I was going to play football. So I cried to her for about a week or so before she finally was able to fold, and I kind of cracked the code and she let me get out there. And from that point on, I was just looking back. I got my first pair of cleats for free from my uncle. They were a pair of Adidas rubber bottoms, and I loved them. So once I got those, it was off to the races.
That's a cool story, man. Love it. With that being said, growing up, who was your favorite NFL player?
Growing up, my favorite NFL, that's tough. It was a lot. I could say three. Probably Deion Sanders, Ricky Williams, and Michael Vick.
Good choices. Definitely all great players. And then something I want to ask you about is, what was it like in high school? You played quarterback and then you eventually switched to wide receiver in college. What was that like?
It was kind of tough. It was just a little tough mentally, not physically, because I was always gifted with athleticism, and that's thanks to God. But it was kind of mentally draining. It was definitely difficult with the difficulty of switching from quarterback to receiver, being the guy who throws the ball to not being the guy who has to catch it and run routes and get open and get out of breaks, things like that. So, I always knew I could do it, so I put my mind to it and kind of just work, put my head down and work and just stay determined. And I always believed in myself. But, it was definitely dark times in that process where you kind of get discouraged because certain things don't go how you planned, and it wasn't just an overnight situation. So it was definitely a struggle, but I found my way.
Yeah, of course. You were a well-known dual-threat quarterback coming out of high school. So, was that like your decision you wanted to play wide receiver? Was that the coaches, or was that a little mixture of both?
My decision. I felt it was my decision. I kind of went home after realizing the situation we had with Marcus Williams at quarterback and Mr. Trubisky as his backup. And that was a long list of depth. That was a long list of years of quarterbacks to come. So my thought process behind it was I could play right now. I wanted to contribute to my team any way I could. I was ready to get out there and play. So my coach redshirted me, but during that whole redshirt year, I was just sitting watching and kind of just thinking to myself, I could contribute now. I can do more now. I could be more active than just sitting here being a supporter of my teammates. I could be out there contributing to victories and helping us get victories and wins. And so, I mean, I sat down with my coaches afterwards after talking to my parents, and they were just kind of gave them the runarounds about my decision to play receiver. And they were all for it, so I appreciate the support.
Absolutely. And you played your collegiate career at North Carolina. What was the main factor for you in choosing North Carolina?
My visits. That's why I say my visits. I mean, the coaching staff was great. I mean, the crowd was great. Tar Heel fans, they were great. And just kind of the vibe I got with my teammates, it was a vibe you can't find anywhere else. I mean, you always have that feeling where you just feel home and you feel comfortable and you feel like you belong. And I always had that feeling every time I visited. And it was always just great energy every time I was there. So it wasn't a hard decision for me personally.
Yeah, of course, and you mentioned Marcus and of course, Mitch. But what was it like playing with those guys in college and watching them? Kind of how they've had success at the next level.
It was, in my eyes, I said it's a blessing because I mean, being a guy like me, we had to take the back seat to that. You don't understand at the time because you want to just get out there and play, but just seeing those guys work and how they took their time and waited for the opportunity. And then when the opportunity came and the number was called, they showed out and they made plays. And looking back on that now, I realize that that's what it took, just being able to take a back seat if needed and understanding that it takes time for your dreams to manifest. So, but when your number is called, you get out there, you make plays, and you do what it takes to win games. And those things get noticed, what you're doing as a team, you're doing it as a brotherhood, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, learning from guys like that was definitely a blessing. I mean, you definitely got the guys, and the list goes on, T.J. Logan, Matt Collins, Bug Howard, Austin Pro, Ryan Switzer, Elijah Hood, Des Lawrence, so on and so forth. Those guys you could just, on top of your head, name, and those are guys who I'm close with personally and have been in my ear since my career started at Carolina, and I'm thankful for those guys. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are talented guys that you played with, but you also played against a lot of really talented and tough players during your college career. Is there any one guy who stands out to you as kind of being the toughest guy that you went up against?
Toughest guy I went up against? That's tough. I'd say Bryce Hall in Virginia. He's definitely a technical corner, definitely a physical guy. He's definitely a solid player, and that was one of the competitions I really enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a talented player at that. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was going to go in the draft and decided to stay. Am I thinking of the right guy? I feel like I am.
Yes, he did decide to stay. Yeah, he did decide to stay.
Yeah, because he was going to be one of the top guys at his position. But I think that's a great pick. But kind of moving on from that, I just want to ask you, what was your favorite memory or play or even game of your collegiate career?
I'd say Pitt. My red shirt sophomore year. That's the game I ran the touchdown. Ran a kickoff back, threw a touchdown, and called a touchdown. Yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
definitely. I said that was definitely the game. I mean, I think the week before, or 2 weeks before, I threw a touchdown against Miami. And then, of course, I played receiver, so I caught one, and I ran one back before against Louisville. And I was always thinking in my head, if I do all three of these, that'd be crazy. And when I went out there and did it, I mean, I wasn't thinking about it during the time, but after the game, I was just like, wow, that really just happened. It kind of sunk in a little bit. And I was trending on Twitter or whatever my sister had told me, but it was just crazy to think that I just did that on TV. So it was kind of dope. Yeah,
certainly. And, I kind of want to touch on as well. How was your pro day?
My pro day was great. I mean, I got to showcase what I've been doing over the past couple of months in the dark. It was definitely a great experience. I mean, to go out there and be able to do that and just execute and just kind of drop all that weight off your shoulders, because over the time you're working out, you're kind of just really stressing yourself and kind of just hoping everything goes as planned. You kind of beat yourself up a little bit, stressing about it, and finally getting out there and executing everything, the game plan that I put out for myself, and being able to go out there and do that in front of family was great. I really enjoyed it. So that was a great experience. I was missing one person though, so it's all good though.
Well, we're glad that you enjoyed your pro day. You absolutely should have been invited to the combine. I mean, that's kind of a joke.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the only one. I know Alexis isn't the only one. I mean, like you were getting a lot of people on your side on what we call draft Twitter.
Right.
So it was, again, the only way I could say is kind of a joke. But moving on. What would you say? And I mean, you're a man of many strengths. Obviously, you throw in the film, and I mean, you got speed. Obviously, your athleticism jumps off the page. You can basically jump over anybody and make any sort of catch. Body control is amazing. But what is your biggest strength? Would you say as a player?
I feel like me personally, my biggest strength is my work ethic. I mean, coming off the transition I had to make, going from quarterback to receiver, and me playing quarterback my whole life and never having to catch a ball before. I mean, I had to apply myself, and I took the time to do so. I mean, I took a back seat to a couple guys, which is a blessing towards me personally because they were great guys to be behind. When I was behind Mac, Bub, Pro, and Switch, I mean, I was able to take a back seat to those guys and watch them work and be able to implement what they did in their game and kind of take it into mine and use my athleticism to go forth off that. So that would definitely be one thing I would say that me personally stand out amongst other people is that my work ethic is just what pushing me over the top because I'm going to do what it takes to be great, and no matter what it is, I'm gonna put forth my best foot and just put my head down to work until I feel like
definitely
I've done whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, for sure. And is there anything as the draft approaches, any goals you've set for yourself or anything that you're looking to improve on?
Definitely, I definitely get my breaks quicker. Complete my catches a little bit better, and just wherever I bless to land at, I just want to get in there and just be productive. No matter what I do, no matter where I'm at, I just want to be productive. And that's just my biggest goal.
Yeah, and Anthony, what's one thing you bring to the table that you would say no one else in this draft brings at your position?
That's a good question. I think I bring to the table versatility. I'm super versatile. I do what other people can't. I can take a kickback for you. I can go down on special teams, make a tackle for you. I can go in the game and catch a ball for you, throw a ball for you, and rush a ball for you. I mean, I'm super versatile. I feel like whenever I get to where I'm going, I'm going to be able to make something happen, no matter what situation it is. And no matter what goes on, I'm going to be able to make plays. That's what I definitely said about myself, me personally, what other people can't do.
Yeah, definitely. And we like to ask this next question. Just out of curiosity and just because it's kind of might make you think a little bit. But if you had to pick one person to Moss in the NFL, like the Randy Moss, who would that be?
Man, do they have to be a current player or can it be an old player?
Anyone.
Anyone, that's tough. Right now, I'm just going to go top and say Devontae Adams for the Packers because we both wear number 17. He's elite, and we kind of look like if he had pads on. Well, only in pads though, not face to face. But like if he had pads, we look identical as players. So that's kind of dope. But he's also elite, and that's the guy like the model of my game out there. He has super releases. Like his releases are great, and he always makes plays. And that's one guy I could say I want to play like him, or someone look like.
Yeah, and if you had to pick a quarterback to catch a touchdown pass from to, say, win a game in the NFL, who would you want that to be?
Oh, man. Do I got to pick one? I don't think I can pick one. I don't mind. Any other 32, I don't mind catching a pass from.
Good answer.
Appreciate it.
And so this is obviously a Los Angeles Rams kind of based podcast, so we have to ask, every guy who comes on the show, have you met with the Los Angeles Rams or have you talked to them at all?
I talked to him after the pro day a little bit. We chopped it up.
Nice. Well, we certainly like to hear that because Jake and I are big fans of you and would love to see you end up a Ram. But no matter where you go, we're going to end up fans and follow your career because we really believe that you're going to have a great career in the NFL and we can't wait to watch you. But just to kind of, wrap it up, in your own words, who is Anthony Ratliff-Williams, the player, and who is he as a person?
Anthony Ratliff-Williams as a player is a hard worker. He's determined. He's just been waiting on this opportunity for so long. for it to finally be in his face and to be able to reach those goals that he set. He's ready to do whatever it takes to be great, and he's not what I'm looking for right now. He's never settled. I'm going to say I'm never settled. Satisfied. Yeah, I'm never satisfied with anything that I accomplish nowadays. And as a person, I'm just outgoing, caring, subtle, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I was a super exciting person. I'm always ready to see people happy. I'm ready to smile. And no matter what goes on, you always see a smile on my face. So I'm just excited.
Hey, we love it, man. Really appreciate you coming on. It's been a lot of fun. It's always fun to get to know, these prospects, and I think you're really going to kill it at the next level. I know Alexis would say the same. Again, if you don't end up in Horns, we're still going to be fans of you. So, stay healthy. Good luck, and let's keep in touch, Anthony.
Well, no problem. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great time.
All right, guys, joining us on the podcast, we have Emeke Egbule. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
It's going good. Everything's going great. Thank you.
That's awesome. And just to start this off, we kind of want to ask you, how old were you when you started playing football, and how did you get into the sport?
So growing up, I wasn't allowed to play because of my size. I was a pretty skinny kid, but when middle school came around, I decided I'm going to just join the team. And throughout until my senior year of high school, from 7th grade up, I was playing offense, tight end, wide receiver. And then my senior year, I transitioned over to defense and played defensive end. And that's when it all started.
Yeah, no, that's great. Everyone has their start. And, at a young age, I'm sure you watched a lot of football. Who would you say was your favorite player at the time?
Well, unfortunately, growing up, I didn't have, the channels to watch too much football, but I really liked Andre Johnson growing up because I was an offensive guy at first, and Ray Lewis.
That's awesome. Those are both great players for sure, and especially Ray. Ray was, I think, a lot of people's idol growing up, and was a phenomenal player on the defensive end. But when it came time for you to play in college, how did you end up choosing to play your college career at Houston?
So I was raised in Houston, and whenever Coach Logo, he was recruiting me at the time, he came out, and I knew it was U of H because, when they come out, they have their shirts on and stuff. So I was excited about that. And then once he offered me, I wanted to stay in Houston, stay home, play here for the city. And it was just a blessing to stay home.
Yeah, absolutely. And your senior year at Houston, you have 69 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, myriad of pass breakups, 4 fumble recoveries, and 2 forced fumbles. What did it mean for you to have such a successful senior campaign?
So senior year for all players, you always got to go out. That's got to be your best year because you prepare from your freshman year and you get better every year, and your senior year has to be your best year. So I had that in my head, and every year is supposed to be a great year, but it's your senior year. It's your last ride, so you got to go out right, and it just meant a lot to me.
Yeah, of course. You definitely had a successful senior year and definitely impressed a lot of people. And I know it's probably hard to pick, but do you have a favorite memory from your time playing college football?
I would say the Peach Bowl year, my freshman year, because as a freshman, playing with all the older guys, that was one of our best years, won the Peach Bowl and all that, and just being on that team with those guys and experiencing that was probably my best experience, most memorable experience with those guys.
Yeah, of course, and, obviously playing at Houston, you played against, some top-notch competition. Who would you say is the toughest opponent you went up against?
I would say Darrell Henderson from Memphis. The Memphis running back, he was a great player. and he is a great player, great running back.
Might be the best running back in the draft, but that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely I want to touch on your experience at the NFL Combine because you were fortunate enough to be invited and you went and competed. What was that like for you? I mean, I'm sure it just must have been an incredible experience.
Yeah, it was exciting getting the news, and it's a blessing again, and just being one of those guys to be able to experience that. It's a great opportunity, and I was blessed, like I said, and just meeting all the coaches and guys there. It was great to compete with everybody, and it was just a great overall experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, as a player, we always like to start off and ask, obviously you have plenty of strengths, but what would you say is your biggest strength?
Biggest strength would probably be just my will to compete, love to compete, and it's just fun. And if you don't like to compete, then I don't know what to say. It's just competition is probably my greatest strength. I love it.
And what is something that, as the draft approaches, you're looking to improve on?
Just improve on everything, really, from the film room just to out on the field. Get better at anything, tackling, just critiquing film better, looking for things that I never looked for or missed, and just techniques, anything I could do to get better.
Yeah, of course. And what would you say, is your biggest, area of, say, like, for instance, as, rushing the passer or, making a tackle, like, are you the surefire tackler that, an NFL team's going to get, or do you provide something that, say, teams are lacking, would you say?
Yeah, I got a great athletic ability, and everybody can work on something. Just like me, I could work on tackling and just, pass rush, getting better at all those things. And just my athleticism, I feel like, puts me ahead of a lot of guys, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely, something that I kind of want to ask is Jake and I like to ask this question, and I already know who the most popular answer is, but who would you most like to sack in the NFL?
Who would I most like to sack in the NFL?
Yeah.
I would like to sack everybody, every quarterback can play. I don't have just one.
Yeah, we always, Jake and I always laugh because 99.99% of the time it's people say Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah?
There's nothing, obviously there's nothing wrong with that answer, but it's kind of like, I love your answer because we always are expecting to hear like Tom Brady. But I mean, you can't go wrong with your answer either. I mean, obviously sacking every quarterback is definitely a goal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's just funny, like when you have every single person that says Tom Brady. I mean, we did just get, somebody said something different, but I like that answer. It's just like you just want to sack everybody, and obviously that's the right mindset. How would you describe this whole pre-draft process so far? Do you have any different routines that maybe no one else is doing to kind of get you ready for NFL Sundays?
I don't know what everybody else is doing, so I wouldn't know how to compare, but just taking care of my body and getting ready for wherever I'm going and staying in shape and just keep feeding my mind with the game, just everything that comes with it, just staying in front, staying on top of everything.
Yeah, of course. And obviously we are a Los Angeles Rams podcast, so we ask every guy who comes on our show, have you met with the Los Angeles Rams or do you have a visit scheduled with them?
I don't have any visits with them yet that I know of, but talked to them at the Combine actually, and with a lot of other teams with the scouts and all. So, but no visits scheduled so far with them.
Well, we certainly like to hear that you talk to them at the Combine because Jake and I are big fans of you, and we'd love to see you end up on the Rams. But, no matter where you end up, we're going to be fans of you. We're excited to see what your career does and where you go. And, we both believe that you're going to have a really successful career. So hopefully it's with the Rams. But if not, I know that you'll have one somewhere else. But just to kind of wrap it up, who is Emeke Egbule as a player and who is he as a person?
As a player, he's just a competitor and a great teammate. Like I always say, great teammates always win games, and coachable player, got to be coachable, and like competitive, and off the field, just a respectful person, and always putting others first, and driven, and my education. I graduate May 9th, so that's I'm really education is big to me, and just family's important, family guy, and just man, that's what you get.
Hey, I like it, man, and congratulations on graduating in May. That's going to be awesome for you. We wish you the best of luck, man, and let's stay in touch and stay healthy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Emeke.
Thank y'all.